Sunday of Advent, and this Sunday is referred as Rejoice Sunday. And St. Paul, letter of St. Paul to the Thessalonians, it exhorts us, let us rejoice, that we should always be joyful. Joy is a sign of presence of God's kingdom. But today I would like to ask a question. Where do I get this joy from? Do I get joy with my family? What is that make me so busy for my family? But I have all the time for other needs. Do I get joy by staying around the people I love? Is our church a joyful one? Do you find joy when we come to church? Or do we replace joy with the pleasure we find in alcohol, in watching TV the whole day, or in the internet? Where does joy come from? Joy comes from prayer. Joy comes from service to others. Joy comes from forgiveness. Accepting other people's opinion brings joy. Acknowledging our own weaknesses and not being so comfortable with them. These are kind of things that brings joy. These are the kind of things when we do, we shall really feel the joy that today the gospel is reminding us that we should be joyful. In the first reading, we see the people of Israel being told by the prophet that when they go back from exile, they will be received with great joy. They will find great welcome. Unfortunately, it did not happen. Rather, they were met with austerity. They did not have a house to live in. There was no land to till. They get poorer, and some even sell themselves as slaves. And the question I would ask today, does this mean that God deceived them? Does this mean that God forgot His promise to them? Sometimes it happens to us. We come to the Lord thinking that He will take every sorrow away and immediately. Then we realize that this may not be the case. Take, for example, someone is addicted to alcohol, and you come to the Lord saying, Lord, please help me so that I can overcome this way. Take, for example, somebody is addicted to pornography. But when you come to the Lord, you find it doesn't go just the way you would want it to go. But it needs a lot of our struggle. To overcome the addiction, it needs a lot of struggle. And the sin is like that. Turning away from sin is a struggle. A struggle we need God's grace and hard work to overcome. Isaiah reassures these people because they were getting discouraged. He reassures them that, I speak because God has sent me. And the reason I'm here is to bring good news to the sorrowful. Those who are broken-hearted, to soothe them. To proclaim liberty to captives. Release to those in prison and proclaim the year of favor from God. This, you find also, is the same message that Jesus uses to reveal the reason of his coming. The attainment of all this will be a great blessing to the people. Unlike Isaiah, John the Baptist presents himself as a different person. He doesn't want to accept, or he denies that he is not Christ. He denies that he is not Elijah or even a prophet. The reason for this is because John thinks that these people were great people, and he feels he doesn't deserve that honor. He equates himself with a voice that only pronounces the message. When people receive the message, they are not interested with how sweet the voice was, but the hope that the message carries. The faithfulness and humility of John is the basis of the gospel today. Someone who does not claim greatness, power, but lowers himself to a humble state. Today, we are being called not to regard ourselves as great. Though sometimes we regard ourselves as great, sometimes even we demand it, that people have to recognize who we are. This is not what we are called today to be. But we are called to be humble. We are called to recognize every activity that each person does. When you find somebody cleaning, wherever he is cleaning, whether it's a church, whether it's a place of work, we should regard them. That's their job. We should regard them. We should give them honor for that. We are called differently. Today I'm a priest preaching to you. It doesn't mean I'm greater than the people who are in service today. It doesn't mean that I'm greater than you who is listening to the message. No. It's only that God has given us different roles. And when we play our roles, then we realize that these roles equate us. And this is the message John is passing to us. Humility. Let us pray that God may give us this joy, and this joy can flow in the humble states